Oh my God! Oh my gosh! My tank broke! Ah! What's going on, guys? Johnny, aka Tropical Fish Guy. So today I have discovered that one of my tanks is cracked somewhere. A couple weeks ago, I heard what I thought maybe was a crack or a pebble. I thought maybe, there was a pebble that fell and hit the side of the glass, but nothing happened because I looked around and there was no water at the time. But I noticed last night that there was some leakage around the tank. So a couple things to be wary about is that you keep in an area in your house that has bare floors, right? Definitely, there's going to be water spilled even if the tank never leaks. There's going to be, your bucket or your gravel vacuum or something is going to definitely spill water. And in the extreme case that happened to me, where the tank actually cracked, luckily it's not a big crack because it's just I saw it soon enough, but the crack gets bigger as it goes. But it will definitely, you might have water all over your floor. So like I was saying, definitely have bare floor if possible, definitely not carpet. So what I had discovered the other day was that there was water, I don't know if you guys can see that, but water on the seal of the trim right there. See, I think you guys can see that right there. But if you follow the leak, bam, you see that right there? And more water, and I've cleaned that area several times just to make sure this tank wasn't cracked. And it was this tank. More water started seeping from here into that area, and you can see that. And it's a smaller crack, but it does lead out to behind into the back up into the towel. I always leave my electric outlets and pumps and stuff on top of a towel just in case this kind of thing happens. So that's probably a good idea, but you see that there's definitely leakage. So what we're going to do today is I ran up to my local aquarium store and got me a 10-gallon tank. What we're going to do is we're going to drain this, do a water change, drain it down as much as I can drain it, move all the stuff from here into here, use the same filter so we can minimize the cycling effect. The bacteria will still be inside that filter as well as that sponge filter. So we're going to use everything from here and hopefully minimize the shock factor of the fish, put it in there. So let's get started and I'll show you what it looks like step by step. So this is almost like setting up a new aquarium, and I did a video on that. I'll put a link up here somewhere. I'll drop down and you can click on that. But I'll still show you from this aquarium to the new aquarium as well. All right, stay tuned. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn off all the power that's going into this tank. We don't want to electrocute anything from the heater or the pumps or the power filter. Maybe keep the lights on, but what I've done is everything that's hooked up to this tank is on here. Everything that's hooked up to this second tank should be on the other one, but we'll see. Actually, everything's hooked up on this tank goes here, and then the other tank is there. So, and there should be a towel underneath this one, but obviously not. We will do it next time. So turn this off. See that the filter went off, heater should go off, and the pump went off. That is good. All right, so the next step, I'm going to take the gravel vacuum and drain the water as far down as I can. So let's do that. All right, we've got the gravel vacuum. Put the end into the bucket. Take the siphon part. Stick that in there. Engage the pump and go about it as if it was a water change. And we'll do that for a while, just going through each section that we can. Obviously, if there's a plant there, don't do that. But if there's not a plant there, definitely get some of that detritus out there, old food, old fish waste, that kind of thing. There's a good spot right there. And if you didn't know how, this is how you do a water change. Normally you do about a 25% change or so, but in this particular case, we are going to go as far down as I can so that it's not as hard to get the fish and move them to the new aquarium and hopefully minimize loss. And as normal water changes is done, you can see that there's a lot of gunk that comes from the bottom of the tank. I don't know if you can see that very well, but what it does is it takes a lot of the gunk from the bottom of the tank outside of the tank. There's a good chunk there, and that's how, if you didn't know, that's how you do a water change using a gravel vacuum. I'll go ahead and put a link up to the gravel vacuum that I recommend for a 10-gallon tank. Check that out. That's a pretty good spot right there. tropicalfishguy.com/gravel vacuum. Keep doing this for a while until it all drains. And that does help feed the plants if you have natural plants. And if you have an under gravel filter, which in this tank I do not, then that would help. The water change helps clean out the under gravel filter. So I'll keep doing this until it gets down to the bottom. So the reason why that we're draining this, I don't know if I made clear, was that we want to drain it as far down as we can so that we can move it easily instead of trying to move it with the water in there. That would be very, very bad idea to do. So the reason why we're draining this down, in case I haven't explained it very well, is so that I can pick it up, move it, put it in the new tank, and then get all the fish and the decorations and the gravel and all that other stuff from this tank to the new tank. And that is why we're draining this all the way down. And what we'll do is, you can see that the water from the tank is being poured into this bucket. It is very nutrient rich. Got a lot of fish poop in there, got a decaying plants and all that stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that and water the plants outside with it. So recycling the fish water, letting the plants use it. It's almost at the state where you want to make it to where the fish will still live, they're comfortable. Well, they're not going to be comfortable, but the water level is high enough for all the fish to at least swim around them. Okay, so for this, my blue gourmet is probably the tallest fish here, so maybe an inch, I would say, an inch or two, but I want to take as much out as I can so that I'll be able to lift this up. Then what I'll do is I'll take all the rocks out to make it lighter, all the rocks and anything heavy in there to make it lighter. All right, it kind of looks like I'm at that point. Maybe a little bit more. I think I'll do a little bit more. It's kind of a guessing game there. You'll see all these fish kind of freaking out on you a little bit. There's Mr. Blue Gourmet, powder blue. Always watch your bucket, make sure your bucket's not overfilling. I think we're doing pretty good here. A little bit more. I think I'm going all the way to the top. Mr. Gourmet, what's going on, Mr. Gourmet? It's okay. All right, it's all right, neons. It's all right, everybody. We're going to just make it a more stable place for you guys to live, so I don't have to worry about all that water back there leaking. So let us keep going. We're almost at that point where we have to stop, so you don't want your fish flopping around, definitely not. But you want as little amount of water as possible. So I think that we're at the point right now. Okay, we're gonna stop it. All right, emptied the bucket out there, gave the plants some fresh, not fresh, but some really good water from the fish tank. I'm gonna move all these big rocks, or all the rocks out, making sure that nothing, let's see, there's a snail right there, so I don't want to maybe take that one off. I don't want to knock that snail off if I can help it. But snails and shrimps, very healthy for the aquarium. Depending on what kind, of course, but the kind that I have, that's a nerite snail. Nerite snail is very effective in cleaning the algae in the tank. So we're going to keep that guy in there. These other snails fall off pretty good. There's powder blue freaking out. Okay, so he fell off. So I'm going to take this rock. Now I've got some ghost shrimp in here, and a mono shrimp, especially a mono shrimp I got to watch out for because they're pretty expensive. They're like $5 each. Expensive to me. But getting all these, making it as light as possible. Making it as light as possible for me to lift this up. And then we're going to have to yank the plants out as well. So there's all the rocks. We need to take the heater out, and hopefully that was turned off. I think that was turned off. I can feel it. It's not on, so it's turned off. This pump actually hadn't turned off, but this is power filter is turned off. All right. Okay, so all the rocks are out of there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the decoration. So this is actually a real piece of wood I got from Lake Louisville. Pretty cool. And then these plants, I will have to be very careful with these plants. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the plants out, then I'm going to take off all the equipment, then I'm going to move the tank. So when I move the tank, all that's going to be in there is the water, the little bit of water, the fish, and the gravel. Okay, and I might actually leave the plants in there for that too, but we'll see. Okay, so right now, one step at a time, I am going to remove the equipment. Okay, so I'm deciding to remove the equipment. Make sure the heater is unplugged or turned off at least. I made sure of that. So that's the heater. Uh-oh, where's the, oh, there's that other suction cup there. Okay, there's the heater. Set that aside. Take off the power filter. And I will need 2 hands for this. I'll be right back. Alright, took that power filter and stuck it somewhere. And I am going to take this sponge filter. Move that somewhere. That over here. I'm just wringing out the sponge here, and I'll move it over out of the way back there somewhere, just anywhere. So now that I have nothing hooked into this, and I'll move that sponge out of there too. That was for the power filter. So now I have nothing hooked into this. I'm going to move this tank out of the way over there somewhere. Close enough to where I can scoop the stuff up, probably on a flat chair or something, so I don't have to bend over too much. Alright, so I'm going to go find me a chair. A pretty high stable chair. I'm going to move this aquarium here, right on that chair there. And if it's a bigger than a tank that you can carry yourself, I'd recommend a friend to help you. But I've got this one. This is just 10 gallons. Done this many times. Lowered the water. Just gonna move the tank. But I'll definitely need 2 hands for that. Oh yeah, it's real wet back here. Check all this out. The reason why you don't want to put an aquarium on a carpeted floor. It's not too terribly bad, but you can see that the water was definitely leaking. But we caught it in time, so always, every time you feed your fish, just look around, make sure the base of the aquariums aren't wet, that kind of thing. But we caught it in time, nothing on the floors, so secondary towel, nothing there. Definitely going to put something underneath here so it doesn't short out. No possibility for shorting, but I'll clean that up and put in the new tank. Okay, now we're going to make sure that we put some kind of a towel underneath the plug so that we don't have fried plugs anywhere. Just something I do, not necessary, but makes me feel safer. So that when water does spill, always prepare for the worst, so when water does spill, it doesn't get onto the electricity. Alright, so what we're going to do is, I've got the tank, the new tank, I'm going to just set it right here. Normally you'd rinse out the tank before you put it up on here, just to get out all the dirt and stuff, but I'm not doing that, but I would recommend you do that. And this would be a good time if you're going to use any type of background, which I'm going to use. I went and got me some background. I'll leave a link to the 10-gallon size, but make sure that you get the appropriate size for you. This is the 10-gallon size. Classic black background. We'll take a look and see how it looks. I'll leave a link up here, tropicalfishguide.com/background, and I'll leave in the description below. So let's take a look and see how that background looks. So there's many different types of backgrounds. This one in particular is a cling background. Haven't tried the cling before, but we'll take a look. So they've got the grids on the back so that you can cut appropriately to smaller size tanks. They're smaller size tanks. Unroll it like this. Unroll it and you'll see that it's definitely not black. What that means is take a corner and peel it off. That's where the cling is, but first cut it to length. This just so happens to be perfect for 10 gallon. So take the corner, pull that off. And this side is the black. It clings on to the outside of the fish tank. So what you want to do is you want to put a little bit of water in there. I might actually just tape this. I'm looking for the best side to be the back. Looks like since stuff. There were scratches and stuff up here. There's some stuff there. There's some silicone. So this will be the back. So I'm just going to take this. All right. So you want to tape. Okay. All right, so that is taped on there pretty good, it looks like. I only taped the corners. We'll see how it looks. I can always yank this off if it looks too bad, but we'll see. Might want to tape some more down here or up here just in case. I think I will. All right, looks like it's good and taped up. Hopefully it'll stick on there good enough. If not, we'll just change it up. That's a good thing about this hobby. If you don't like something, you can always change it. Flip the tank around. Looks like there's plenty of bubbles back there, huh? Yeah, we'll see how it looks once there's water back there. And for this particular background, I was supposed to wet it. It's supposed to be a cling, but I hated this look here, so I tried not to do it like that, but kind of not digging it too much, but we'll see. Let's make sure that the tank is in the appropriate position that we want it. All the corners are covered with appropriate support. And what we'll do is, there's the tank right there. We will start moving the gravel from that tank into here. And normally we'd use a specimen container, but I don't have one, so I'm just going to use a cup. First, I'm going to, so I don't damage the plants, I'm going to yank the plants out and put them in my bucket somewhere, or somewhere else. Maybe just throw them in that tank for now. Let's do that. All right, so I'm going to take some of these plants out very gently from the roots. Just gonna stick them in this tank here for now. Actually, no. Stick them in the bucket. Stick them in the bucket so I know which plants are for which tank. Let's see here. So I'm gonna gently remove these plants. Good root system there. Move these floating ones. It's really big ones down here. Hopefully get the roots to them. The floating plants, the hornwort floats, so that's not necessary for the roots to be okay. Let's see here. This is a nice, good root system here. I don't want to hurt that. There we go. Look at that. That's good. It's even got the lead weight still on it. There's good roots. All right. And get the rest of these. There, check that out. That one's grabbing onto those gravel pebbles. All right, so now we've got all the plants, and all we have left are fish, our livestock, our fish, shrimp. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna fill up this tank with some fresh dechlorinated water, probably a bucket full, and then transfer the rocks over, and in case we grab some fish, they'll be okay in there. We're going to make sure the temperature is the same, acclimate temperature with the temperature here. So we'll go ahead and fill up this probably with just a pitcher, I think, just enough to where if I grab a fish, then he won't flop to his death in here. I'll show you what I mean. Alright, I got me a pitcher full of water here. I'm going to dechlorinate it. The dechlorinator that I would recommend, let's dig through my chemical stuff over here. A couple of things. Either Amquel Plus from Cordon, I've used this for decades, or the Ammo Lock. The Ammo Lock I don't have, but the Amquel Plus is really good. As well as when you're doing stressful stuff to your fish like I'm doing here, I would use this stress coat. So I'm going to use like a capful per 10 gallons of water once I put this in. But I'm going to put like a quarter of a cap in here, and then probably half a cap in there of Amquel in there to dechlorinate. So this removes the ammonia, nitrite, chlorines, you know, all the bad stuff that we put in our water to make our water drinkable, I suppose. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna take a capful. First you shake it real good. Then I'm gonna take a capful, probably half a cap. I mean, a capful will do 10 gallons, but in that pitcher right there, it's not even a gallon. So you can't overdo it too much. So don't worry about over dechlorinating unless you just go crazy, but it's hard to do that. Stress coat, just a couple of just a couple of drops, a quarter of a cap, like that. There we go. Wait a minute for that to dissolve, and then I would add that directly to this tank. And for me, I have soft water, so I have to use this equilibrium. So I just use a quarter teaspoon, was it 1 teaspoon for every 20 gallons. So I mean 1 teaspoon for 20 gallons. So I mean I just put just a little pinch. Just a little pinch in there. And then I test my water for hardness later. But that, I mix it up real good. I also keep crushed coral in my gravel to buffer the water. The live bearers like higher pHs than most other fish, so that's pretty good. So I'm just gonna do that just enough to where if I scoop out some fish from this tank here, the tank that we're changing, then they won't die in this new tank, because I won't be scooping. And I could probably do a whole bucket or whatever, but I think that should be good for now. I'll move some of this water. I've got a, let's see, just a plastic cup. Oh, shoot, that's okay. It's just a regular plastic cup. I'm going to take some of this water, pour it in that tank. Normally I'd have a specimen container, but I don't have any right now. But, so I'm going to take some of this water, put it in there, make sure the water level is decent. Okay. If I happen to get a fish or two, that's fine. Alright. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to scoop out some of this gravel. Okay, so scoop. Okay. And then spread in here. Same thing here. Scoop. Hopefully I didn't kill any fish. And spread in here. Did I get anybody? I think we're good. Scoop. and spread. Oh, I did actually see it. See, there's a guppy in there. See if you can find it. And check this dude out. He's stressing. So I'm going to go like this. See that? How I give him some more water. And then scoop. Yeah, there's that guppy right there. See him? Okay. Scoop. Scoop. There he goes. And see what I mean by adding enough water to the tank just in case I grab the fish? That's what I'm talking about. So he's still stressed, but he'll live. Okay. Same thing with these dudes. Scoop. And keep doing it. You want to ideally get more gravel than fish, but sometimes you're going to get the fish, and that's okay if you've added a little bit of water into this new tank. So here's a bunch of stranded fish over there that I need to get pretty quickly here. So I'm going to scoop and release. Okay. Scoop and release. Do that for a while and I'll show you when I'm done. Alright, so we got everything out of this old tank. Sure enough, check that out right there. Bam. There's the crack. Can you see it? Right there in the corner. That big old, it's not a big old crack, but it's a pretty good sized crack. That's not it right there. That's just something, but this one right here. Look at that, right there. Yep. Thought I heard that crack happening, but thought it might have been a pebble or something. But no, that's it. So we're just going to throw this away, and but anyways, check this out. We've got all the fish and everything over here. They're really stressed out. I'll give them I'll throw the plants back in there. I'll give them some stress coat and stuff later on, but right now I'm just going to throw the plants in there. I'm going to move the filter back on there. I need 2 hands for that, and then the rocks I'll put later. Alright, so about halfway through filling up the tank, you want to set a air stone or a bubbler or a sponge filter or something to be able to oxygenate the water. Let it clear for a little bit, and then what we're going to do is just give it a few minutes to where the dust settles. The fish, you can see they're starting to swim around and become active again. So you want to give them oxygen, and you want to give it just, you can see them swimming around. You want to just give them a few minutes, and then what we're going to do is we're going to plant the plants, fill up the tank back up, and then start running filters, put the lights back on. Maybe not have the lights on for a few hours, but we'll make sure everything's running good. Heaters plugged back in and everything, and go from there. So for now, just a few minutes. All right, guys, it's been a few minutes. Looks like the tank is clearing up a little bit. Looks like we're out of the woods. Let's take a quick look and see what kind of quick casualties, if any. Looks like, can't tell obviously a lot, but it looks like we've got a lot of our, well, there's one right there. That's going to be a cardinal tetra. Cardinal's going to be one casualty. I don't know about the shrimps or anything, but a lot of the neons are okay. The beta's good. The Grammy's good. The Siamese algae eater's good. Platy's good. Guppies are good. So maybe just him, but I'll keep him in there just in case. Maybe give him a few more minutes, or what I'll do is I'll gently move the plants around. So I'm gently going to place the plants in the positions and fill the tank back up. So this hornwort floats around. Leave that separate. So I'm not really doing a very thorough job. I'm just getting them kind of positioned to where I think that they'll need to be, and I'll deal with it more later, because I don't want to stress out these fish any more than they're already stressed. I'm sure they're stressed pretty good. We filled the tank back up and turn the filters on, lights on. It'll take a while for it to clear up a little. We'll take a look and see where it's at right now. So it's still very cloudy. It's gonna take a while for it to clear up. Once it does clear up, I'll clean up this where the plants are. I'll redistribute the gravel and make it look better. But for now, just letting the fish reacclimate, get de-stressed out. I added a little bit more of that stress coat in there. It does contain aloe vera, which promotes the fish's slime coating, which supposedly helps them out. So we'll see. We'll take once it clears up, we'll take an inventory of what is still alive and what we can't see. All that just so we can get back to where we were at the beginning, right? To replace the aquarium that had the crack in it. We'll keep an eye out on it. Feels good to have that done. We'll go ahead and keep you updated, and thanks a lot for watching. We'll check back here in a few minutes. All right, so it's been about 2 hours since we completed the new tank. Let's take a look and see what's going on. It's not leaking. That's good. Everything's good on that front. So we figured out it was this tank. We've kind of put the plants in the general area for where we're going to ultimately put them. Let's look at the fish. Looks like the neons are doing all right. The beta's doing good. The Grammy's doing good. We've got Guppy doing good. Platy doing good. Blue Molly, Guppy, Platy. I saw a Siamese alligator. I saw a Guppy is struggling there. So been a couple hours struggling. Hopefully she bounces back. I saw a mono shrimp. So there's at least one Amano shrimp that's surviving, and I saw one ghost shrimp. So one ghost shrimp accounted for, one Amano shrimp accounted for. I think that I could have been, and then the beta is doing good. Cardinal stressed out. One cardinal did die, so one casualty for sure. And I don't see the scarlet batis. I think I could have been a little more gentler when I transferred the fish, but I was just in a hurry. I've done it before, being gentler, and it ends up being the same way. You lose a few when your fish tank cracks and you have to hurry and change tanks real fast. No matter how you do it, ends up sometimes you lose some. But looks like so far that we're doing good. I don't want to lose that scarlet batis. Hopefully he is shy, so hopefully he is hiding somewhere. But I'm not seeing it. But what do you guys think about the black background? It kind of hides some of the filter. I mean, you might have not noticed there's a filter there. They kind of blend into the background, and it doesn't jump out at you, kind of like other than like this, right? On this tank, you can tell where the filter in the back is, right? Where the filters here are. But with this black background here, it kind of blends in a little bit better. kind of shows the fish off a little bit more. I think I'm liking it. Leave a comment below. Let me know if you like that black background or not. I think it does a good job of making it a more seamless fish tank than something like that. I mean, that looks okay, but with the background, it looks better, I think. You tell me what you guys think. But I think it was a success that we added the new fish tank because the old one cracked. So far, I think that we're doing good on our fish retention. I'll have to keep an eye out for the scarlet batis. Definitely one cardinal tetra died, and I'm still looking for some shrimp. So that's that. But you know, it's never good when your fish tanks crack, and you got to take care of it pretty fast. So we did the best we could on that one for what we had. Ran down to the fish store, got another tank, and put it all together as fast as I could. But that's how I would do it in an emergency circumstance. So definitely, hopefully you guys learned something. If not, let me know how you guys handle it. I'd really appreciate it too. We're all learning together. We're all having a good time. So give me a like, share this if you know someone who's interested in fish, and who might, I mean, whoever has a fish tank, this will eventually happen, right? So share this, give me a comment, let me know if you like this black background or prefer the clear background. Subscribe to my channel, it really helps, and I appreciate you guys watching. Hit that bell notification so you get all my videos. Hopefully I'm giving you some good content. And if you hit the bell notification, you get notified of all the videos. Thank you so much. I appreciate you watching. Happy fish keeping. Peace.